What's up, guys? Today, little video on how to mount a scope sighted in, and if your scope has parallax, how to really get it dialed in that you're getting good groups and your reticle from your eyepiece to your adjustable parallax, if it's up here or if it's on the side, is in alignment. And we'll get to that a little bit later. But anyway, you'll take your rings. You don't want your rings touching the front or back side of your turrets. That's a no, that's bad. The next thing you're going to do is make sure your eyepiece here, your adjustment piece for focus, is turned all the way in. We're going to come back to the back of the gun. We're going to sit down. I just have some rags propping this up with a bipod. If you don't have that, you can, use sandbag or whatever you have to, keep the gun steady. You're going to put the buttstock and you're going to keep that low or tight into your shoulder. You're going to rest your cheek on the stock and you're going to find a comfortable position for yourself. You're going to move this scope back and forth when you find that comfortable position. What you're looking for is a clear view. You don't want, you see that black? You don't want that. You want a nice clear picture like that. So no black around any part when you're looking through it. That's a no-no. It's bad. Once you find that, you tighten your rings down and everything else. The other thing I will talk about is cant. So if we look through this scope, you'll see a vertical and horizontal thing. Now they use bubble levels and they use all this, leveling shit. And if you look down this gun, my turret is not exactly level. I don't believe in doing that. I never did, because when you put your cheek on this gun, your head is naturally canted. And I don't like when you have a level gun with a level turret and then your head is this way, because now all of a sudden your vertical reticle and horizontal, it looks off. You're this way and that's straight up and down. I don't like that. I've never done it that way. It's up to you if you want to do it that way. So moving on from that. All right, so the next thing you're going to want to do is either point the gun into the sky or take and place a piece of white paper in front of the scope. And it doesn't have to be far away. What you're looking for is that reticle inside. And I'm going to demonstrate with this piece of paper. So say this is your reticle and you put the gun up and it's blurry. You'll go ahead and you're going to turn this a quarter turn at a time. Close your eyes, look away, put the rifle down, pick the rifle back up and look through it, and you should have that perfect unobstructed sight with no black. You're dialing this to get a crisp picture of your reticle. So as soon as you put that gun up to your shoulder and you lock in, you want those crosshairs to be as perfectly clear as possible. Once you obtain that, you don't need to touch this again. And that will bring us up to the turret. So this is your top turret. This is for elevation. This is for windage. On this one, it is one click, 1/8 of an inch at 100 yards. So if I'm shooting downrange at 100 yards and I'm shooting, say, low, 1/4 inch, the up arrow indicates that I need to turn it counterclockwise, and being that has 1/8 of an inch on here, tells me I got to go 2 clicks to bring that down or up. Same thing with windage. It will have a L and it will show you left. Again, 1/8 inch at 100 yards. So if I'm shooting right and I want to go left, you will, and say I'm shooting a 1/2 inch, you'll go 4 clicks, because it will be 1, 2, quarter inch, 1, 2, quarter inch, quarter, quarters, half. And that's how you use that. Now, if I would recommend that you start shooting at 15 yards if it's a brand new scope, just because at 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 yards, it's going to be much harder for you to adjust. So that same quarter inch, or half inch I should say, in windage that you just turned 4 clicks, it might take 30 or 40 clicks to bring that from the right over to the left. Now, getting in the parallax, okay, you have a ring here, or you'll have a dial here. There'll be numbers on it. Mine happens to be here. I'm at 35 yards here, so you can see there's a marking. This is to get you in the ballpark. What you're going to do, you turn it to the lowest possible magnification, like I said. You look through your scope, you get that clear sight. You always want to, be focused right in the same spot, okay? But what you're going to do is move your head left to right, up and down, just a little bit. That reticle should not move off that target, not in any way, shape, or form. If it's dancing up and down or left and right, your parallax is not in focus. What does that mean? It means this focus point back here with your scope and this focal point are not in line. So you have to start, like I'm at 35 yards. So if we look here, there's 30 yards. 35 would have been somewhere around here. And I'm closer to 45 yards. And what you're doing is adjusting this for the clearest picture of that target downrange. Once you obtain that clear picture, and everything's crystal clear, you're going to take a couple of shots. What you want to do is you want to take that rifle, put it into your shoulder. You want to get used to placing your cheek, your face on this stock, locking in, getting that clear picture sight, and take a shot. But make sure that you have some rags, sandbag, or whatever, because you don't want the gun moving. You don't want to be the air. You want to set it up on the target that it's vertical, horizontal, right in the center. Take a shot. After you take the shot and see where that shot is sent and it lands, after that you'll know if you have to come up, down, right, left, and you just keep repeating that. You do not touch anything back here, and that's pretty much the best way I can explain it. Alright, so another thing that this scope has, and it comes on a lot of them, is a lighted reticle. So you have different variations of brightness for red and green. So if we turn it to counterclockwise, the left, and we look down, you can see there is a red reticle now, and that helps you in low light conditions. If we turn that up, it gets brighter, and or actually duller, and then back to off. There's green, brighter green, and then back to dull, and then off. Alright, so after a bunch of shots, you can see I've been grouping to the right. I started here, then I brought the elevation down, and I grouped here. So what I did was I put the first line on the horizontal of the reticle here, and it shot here. So I took 10 clicks to the left, and this was my last shot. This is a center shot, or center mark rather. So I know I got to come over at least a half an inch. So maybe another 10 clicks over, but that's how you start grouping it. What I'll do is I'll just paint around these, I'll leave that there, and we'll take some more shots. Alright, so I took another group of shots here. And what I want to say before we move on is if you're shooting at 15 yards and you move to 35 yards, you don't change the eye focus at the rear, but you will have to probably adjust your parallax. And just because you're hitting dead center at 15 yards, you might drop, you might come up, it might go different places. So I was shooting, this is my first shot here, and then I hit 2 more times over here, and then I moved down to here and I started hitting here and then over to here just as test spots. So that's about a 1/4 inch away for each shot that I was doing. So that's what the pellets look like after you're shooting some steel. These were wad cutters, supposedly matched grade, and that's a whole nother video. But if you change pellets, be prepared to re-zero your scope again. Alright, so this is my wife shooting. She didn't change anything, no eye relief, no parallax, no nothing. Elevation, windage is all the same. And she had one flyer up here, or she flinched. But this is where she's grouping. So as you get used to the trigger, the gun, and shooting, your groups will get tighter and tighter. The key is, and my wife will tell you this,
the best piece of advice my husband gave me is keep your cheek rested on the cheek rest. Whatever you do, don't take your cheek away, and you'll keep shooting really, really well.